When I came out, again, just to make sure that I've seen it correctly, I asked the invigilator that you also saw a 705, right? And he was like, yeah, 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 chill. You've done good. You can go now. So MBA was the only thing that was making sense to me. I had three, four friends who had already taken top and given the GMAT and they fared very well. So I had direct referrals and there was no second out then. It was a mixture of word of mouth and they got good results. So I was like, top really had been my verbal. And DI also, the data insight section was also something completely new to me. Again, had never done questions like these before. So top material also really helped me to focus on how to solve questions properly in a timely manner. Like there are multiple tests on the portal for DI and verbal. So I think if someone does all of that diligently, they can also very easily get a good score.
Hi, Mudit. So,
Uh,
extending a very warm welcome to you from Team Top and heartiest congratulations on the phenomenal 705 score. And
Thanks.
you've been able to secure 100 percentile score on the quantitative reasoning. I'm sure that makes you proud. And verbal reasoning is again at a 94th percentile and data insights at an 83rd. So, tell us something about how you felt when you saw this score crop up on your screen.
So very honestly, when I saw this score pop up, it took me 2 minutes to realize because for the first 2 minutes, I was not sure if this is correct. So I had to literally call the invigilator in the center and ask him, ki, is this right? He's like, yeah, just end the exam now. I ended the exam. Obviously, I had to contain my excitement because I can't do anything in the exam center to be quiet and all. When I came out, again, just to make sure that I've seen it correctly, I asked the invigilator that you also saw a 705, right? And he was like, yeah, 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 chill. You've done good. You can go now. Then when I came out, I reeled it all in, called my parents, and then that's when it actually hit me, ki, oh, I've gotten a good score. And
Great. I mean, it's always a great feeling, and I'm sure you would have had to pinch yourself in that moment too.
yeah, exactly. Somewhat like that only.
Right. So before we jump into the GMAT aspect, tell us something about yourself. What led you to start preparing for the GMAT in the first place?
So I was very sure that I want to do my master's in a non-tech role. Like, so I've done my BTech and now I wanted to do my master's and I wanted to do it in a business domain. So MBA was the only thing that was making sense to me. And uh, I decided that this time would be best for me because as per the timeline I'm following, uh, I I would want to be done with all my studies in the next 2 to 3 years so that I can then get this out of the way. And another reason why I decided to give the GMAT right now was that right now I had a sort of uh, I don't want to say relaxed, but I had a like my work stress was not that much right now.
Right. I mean, it makes a lot of sense if you look
Exactly.
at the return on investment thing. I mean, if you've got to pursue a business education, better have it done and dusted right in the beginning so
Oh,
that
yeah, exactly,
from a
exactly.
return on investment perspective point of view, it makes more sense.
Correct.
So, yes. So, what made you to shortlist top 1% as a resource? I mean, you had the option of preparing with so many other test prep companies.
There's
What
a
specifically led you to top 1%?
that was a very easy pick because I had three, four friends who had already taken top and given the GMAT and they fared very well. So I had direct referrals, and there was no second out then.
Right. I mean, word of mouth is plays a big role in convincing a lot of our students to enroll for that.
It was a mixture of word of mouth and they got good results. So I was like,
Right. If it has worked out for them, shall work out for you as well. Right.
exactly, exactly.
Yes, so we tend to tell a lot of our students that we have done a very comprehensive job in putting together all the material. And if you happen to remain diligent and motivated throughout your prep, that you're putting in the hours, then it's just a matter of time that you will have the desired score in your hand. So
Yeah.
it's always good to have a repeatable process. Right, Mudit, tell us about some of your strengths and weaknesses which you identified early on, and how did our course material help you address those?
Uh, Very early on, so when you do the demo class, so Sandeep gives you this set of 8 questions, and I don't know if I was one of the few or I don't know what, but I got all 8 wrong. I had a 0 out of 8 in that test assessment, whatever you can call it. But uh, a week or two into it, I realized that quant is something that I'll be able to do. I'll manage quant. That shouldn't be a very big challenge for me. But when it came to RCCR, I think that was one of the biggest challenge for me, because just thinking in that particular way, reading in that particular way, uh, critical thinking, all of these are things that I was not like, I'd never done these things before. So top really helped me in my verbal. And DI also, the data insight section, was also something completely new to me. Again, had never done questions like these before. Had never thought on that process. And so top material also really helped me to focus on how to solve questions properly in a timely manner. And if you like, there are multiple tests on the portal for DI and verbal. So I think if someone does all of that diligently, they can also very easily get a good score.
Right, Mudit. So what sort of a time frame could you address the GMAT in, if I may ask that?
So I started prepping for the GMAT in March, and then I prepped for 2 months, and then I had to stop in the middle for a month or so. I had some commitments that I had to follow, so I had to take a break there. But after that, then I again started prepping in August, and then October I gave my exam, my second attempt. My first attempt I gave in September. I got a 645 in that, and then a month after my second attempt, I gave my a month after my first attempt, I gave my second attempt. So yeah, I think all in all, if I just see the second half of it, it took me 3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
Right. After having that 1 month of gap, did you go over the entire course material again, or was there any error log that you'd been maintaining, and going over the error log helped?
So I honestly tried to maintain an error log, but very honestly, I was not able to maintain it very properly. I would not fill it so many times. I would just miss it. I would just forget about it. So error log was something that I personally didn't maintain for a lot of things. But after I took a 1 month break, uh, there were few topics which I knew I don't need to go over again. So I didn't go over them again, but there were a few topics which I felt like, no, I don't remember the concepts properly, or I am fumbling somewhere. So I went over those again, and then I started my prep again.
So a lot of our students face issues with consistency. I mean, you also said that in 1 month time, you had some other work commitments because of which you couldn't devote as much time as you'd like to your GMAT prep. So what would be some tip of yours that you would want to give to anyone who's looking at this interaction to remain consistent throughout their prep? Was there any way that you ensured that you remained committed to the your GMAT prep?
Uh, I had a very fixed work plan, uh, and I had made sure that whatever I've decided to do in a day, I have to do that. So for me, there was no other way about it. Uh, I think this is something that just comes from within. Like, very honestly, for me, it was, I was never like a very studious child, or like I would never like sit and study. But for me, it just, this time it just came from within, where I was like, no, I have to do this. So I made my particular day-wise schedule where I'll be finishing an X amount of work, and till I didn't finish that work, I would just not end my day.
So how many hours are we talking?
Uh, so I'll tell you. Initially, it started with me giving 3 hours a day,
Right?
about 3 hours a day in the night. And then gradually, as I completed my course and I came to the after class practice sessions, that's when I upped it a little. And then it was 5 to 6 hours a day. 3 hours in the day, I would try to squeeze and fit in time during the day, morning, and then a 3 hour stretch at night before sleeping.
Right. That is inspiring. I mean, putting in 6 hours while being a working professional, I think many of our students come to us and they're having these unrealistic timelines in their mind that they want to get done with the exam. Obviously, all of us want to apply the earliest possible if you've set
Correct.
that goal for yourself. But
Correct.
sometimes it is not realistically possible for people to put in those sort of hours like you talked about, 6 hours in a day
Yeah.
to achieve that score. So we always recommend that unless you're scoring in the ballpark that you wish to uh, get on your final exam, you should not book the exam.
Correct.
So talk something about the material. What all material did you find really helpful, which you would have gone over, and were things uh, taught from the absolute basics, or you found them to be a notch above basics?
No, no, no. I think they were from the absolute basics to like when I joined, I taken the self-paced course. So the bridge course that I completed, I think that covered more than the basics that I required for this exam. And if I talk about the material particularly, like I told you before also, the RCCR material really helped me a lot. Like I think I was very scared about this section particularly because RCCR is very subjective and you tend to get confused between options. And at that point, you think, yeah, this sounds right, this would be right. So that was one section I was actually fairly scared about. Quant, I was still a little confident about because it's an objective answer. Either you get it right or you don't get it right. At least you know you're going wrong. But somewhat like an RCCR, you don't really know if even if you're going wrong, correct, till you don't get the score. So, but Top's RCCR material really helped me a lot. All their after class practice sessions, the 700 to 800 books, everything. So I had completed almost as much of RCCR I could from the top material. I think there was hardly anything left, and I think that helped me a lot. I think that is all I did for my RCCR.
How about the LSAT material? Did you also happen to go over LSAT prep material that was provided?
Uh, so very honestly, uh, I didn't really go over the LSAT prep material because I was a
Fairly
little,
confident.
fairly confident also, and then I already had a lot of material that I didn't get the time to reach to the LSAT material because if you see TOPS portal itself, you have I think some 8 sectional tests, then some 3 to 4 long sittings for verbal, then you have a 700 to 800 RC book, you have 3 CR books, you have a CR topic. So if you do all of that, I think it's more than enough. Obviously, people who do the LSAT passes, obviously it helps them more. I think they would fare a little better than me. But for me, I was very focused on the material given, and I wanted to stick to that. Ki, let me finish everything that is there on the portal, and then let me see where I stand.
Yes, the LSAT material is only provided there for underconfident folks who are still not confident on their RC skills after having addressed the entire portal. So let's talk a little more about the portal. Like you said, you'd been able to address all the tests that were there. A lot of our students face a lot of challenge, particularly with the verbal resources, the verbal tests that are provided over the portal, that they're not able to complete all the 23 questions in time. So did you face a similar challenge or were you able
Uh,
to?
I'll. So, very honestly, when I first started giving the verbal test, or even if I say the full length test in the top portal, the mock test, uh, I think in my first 2 to 3, I got a horrendous score. Horrible. and like I was so demotivated. And I even like I remember complaining to one of my friends that what's the point of these tests? They're too tough. And my first section only I'm unable to complete, and then my mindset just goes for a toss, and then my other two sections also get messed up. So I was very irritated, and I actually at one point had decided that I'm not going to give the top tests now because they're demotivating me. They're not working out for me. But after giving one or two more, so I then just changed my tactic. I didn't give top exams for the score. Like I was like, whatever score I get here, I'm not going to focus on that. Score aside, I gave top exams to manage my time. In my head, I had put it like, if I can complete a top exam आराम से without missing out on questions, then I am very confident that I can easily manage my time on a normal exam. So then my strategy changed. I didn't see top exam for my score, my accuracy. It was just I want to complete this exam on time. And that's how top helped me to manage my time.
And did that change in mindset help you improve upon your scores as well?
Uh, like I said, I didn't look at my scores at all because I would get a little demotivated. So in my head, it was just a time test that I need to complete, and I just convinced myself that if this test I can complete in time, then I don't think there's any test that will uh, give me problem, at least time related.
I mean, that is such a positive way of looking
Yeah,
at the test. A lot
yeah,
of our students tend to get demotivated by attempting the top test. But if
yeah.
you go over those questions in a timed setting and then even address those after you've completed the test, I think it tremendously helps on test day.
Right.
So let's talk about the official marks. How many official marks did you take?
Or all, I think every available one.
Every available official mock, and what was the score that
At
you were
one,
averaging?
4, 5. Yeah, there's six available. I took all of them.
All of them twice, because each of
Uh,
them,
yeah, all of them twice.
all of
Correct.
them twice.
Yeah.
And what sort of a score were you being able to average there?
I think I was always hitting something around a 675, 685.
Great. So 705 would have been a pleasant surprise
Yeah,
then.
seven. I think I hit 705 only once. So
Right.
yeah.
So, right. So anything about the test day experience, was there anything that you weren't very, okay, this was your second attempt, but considering that had it been your first attempt, what changed from your first attempt to your second attempt, and what was uh, some of the testing experience that you would want to talk about?
So I think my when I went for my first attempt, I was very nervous. I think that plays a big role because that is one thing that I saw when I went for my second attempt. I was a lot calmer. I was under a lot less pressure because I'd already gotten one score. So in my head, it was like, let's see. So I think that played a lot of role because I was a lot calmer, a lot less nervous. So I think I could just think a little better. As compared to my first test, I was under a lot of pressure. I was very nervous. I was very panicky, jittery. But again, when I went for my second attempt, I fairly knew the center because I made it a point that I'm giving it in the same center that I gave it as before. So I had a comfortable environment. I had a known environment. I knew the processes. I knew how everything worked. So everything was just a lot smoother for me, which internally made me a lot more calmer as compared to the first time where everything was new, center was new, process was new, entry exit, everything was new. So I think the second time just helped me out in being a little more calm and just focusing on the test itself in a better manner.
Right. And I tend to tell this to a lot of my students that whenever you're going into the exam, don't go in thinking that you're appearing for it the last time, because
Hmm.
that tends to drive up your nerves to a
100%.
great extent. So if you
100%.
can go in with the mindset that this is just another practice that I'm taking and I'll be taking the real mock later or the real exam later, that tremendously helps. And there was another student we were able to help secure a 715 who stepped into the exam hall thinking that this is not my last attempt, and that
Yeah,
tremendously paid off.
Yes, yes, for sure.
So, as my last question, Mudit, what would be your recommended do's and don'ts that you would recommend any future test taker who would be looking at this video?
Uh, so I'll go with the do's first. Try to do as many. So this is what personally worked for me. Again, everybody has their eh, own formula. Whatever works for them, right? So for what worked for me was practice. I think I practiced a lot of questions. Like once you are fundamentally strong in your concepts, and once you've reached that point where you realized, okay, I think I know the concepts and the basics, right? Practice as many questions as you can. uh, Time yourself for sure, because time plays a very, very big role. I remember when I first gave a timed practice and how my performance dropped from an untimed practice. So time yourself and try to give as many as possible practice questions as you give. Again, the whole point of giving practice questions is not so that you know what type of questions are coming, because obviously in GMAT there's no question repeat. But at least that's what I saw for myself, that after a point, my thinking only changed. Earlier, what was coming to me unnaturally and I had to make an effort, that was coming very naturally to me after a certain set of practice. That mindset, the workflow, and everything was just coming very natural to me. Like unconsciously, I was solving questions at that point. So that is something that really worked out for me. And another thing I would recommend for sure is uh, go through the entire talk material. I think there is more than enough. If you can finish all that, you get an after class PDF. If you're able to complete all that, I don't think you need anything else. I think that is more than enough. That'll give you everything you need, all types of questions. And as far as for mocks, I would again recommend giving the top mocks as well. Again, don't look at them as getting a good score. Just look at them that if you are able to complete this, you will very easily complete the normal exam without any pressure. And I would also recommend giving as many mocks as possible, because at the end of the day, they're the real picture. They give you a correct assessment of where you stand, how much practice you have to put in, what topics are weak, what topics you have to study a little more. Like you analyze everything. So I would recommend everybody giving a mock. I know a lot of people are a little scared of giving the mocks because they think my preparation is not up to the mark. But again, I this is what worked for me. Don't think that much before giving a mock. It's a mock. It's literally in the name. The score doesn't matter. Just keep giving mocks, because eventually when you keep giving mocks, you just keep on realizing how well you are prepped. Because there could be times where you're practicing for months and when you give a mock, you get a terrible score, and then you realize, oh, the method that I've been using is not working. So I think frequent mocks helps you assess yourself in the best way possible.
Right, Mudit. And some of the don'ts?
Uh, some of the don'ts would be I know, like when you're working, it's very tough, but still try. If you are like, I don't think you should miss any day, even if you can't give in those many hours. Try to give as much as possible so that you're consistent. I think consistency matters a lot. So make sure that you just don't slack through. Obviously, there'll be some times where you won't be able to follow through or you won't get that much time, but just make sure that you're consistent and you don't slack off, because one day turns into 2 day, 2 day, 3 day, and before you know it, you're in that spiral where, like for me, a month went by. I didn't even realize it. Correct, because it started with a 1 day. Okay, today I'll take a 2 day, 3 day, and a month passed by, and that really puts you behind. Another don't I would say is that uh, the material you have is more than enough. Don't go seeking out for multiple things, because that'll just confuse you. Every person, every other material or anybody has a different way. So don't go for multiple things. Pick one thing and just finish
Stick
it.
to it.
Stick to it. Correct. The more you jump from here to there, the more you'll just confuse yourself, and you'll you won't be able to complete anything then.
A rolling
So
stone catches no moss.
correct, exactly. So just stick to it. Uh, and I think yeah, that's it. I think if you stick to your plan, you stick to the material, I don't see any challenge.
That was so relevant. All of the tips that you've given so far have been so relevant and so to the point. I mean, if anyone adheres to whatever you've told in this interaction, I'm sure they'll be able to find success much like you did.
Thank you.
So once again, Mudit, thank you so much for letting us, uh, I mean, uh, sharing your experiences with us and wishing you all the best for your future endeavors of applying to B schools.
Thank
And once again, Sandeep sir and the entire team at Top is so proud of you and heartiest congratulations once again.
Thank you so much, Karan.
All right, Mudit, take care.
Thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.